Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. And thanks for joining me for another episode of the Storytime Society. This is a mini episode, so our mini episodes will be anywhere from 15 to 35 minutes max. And this is where we will read stories that have multiple updates or specific stories that have fall under a certain theme. Okay? So we upload Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. every day. Join us, subscribe, like the video if you haven't already. And we also have a Spotify and a subreddit linked below. Also, guys, we have a Discord now and there's a few members. So we love to chat. I love to chat with you guys. So I made this Discord so that we could all chat together about different things. And like, if we don't want to talk about Reddit, we don't have to talk about Reddit. We could talk about anything that our heart wants to talk about. So yeah, that's all linked below. Anything you need is going to be linked below. But anyways, let's get straight into the story for this episode. All right. The title is I read my husband's journal, and in it, he says that he hates me and he hopes I die. Lord have mercy. Please. Okay. My husband has. Wait, sorry. My husband has kept a semi-regular journal throughout our 4-year relationship. He does not keep it hidden, and up until now, I have always respected his privacy. He had a heated conversation, and we had a heated conversation, and my gut told me to read it. So after he left for work, I did. He wrote several times that he hates me, and at one point he said when I was sick, he hoped I would die. When I read those words, I packed up me and our baby and went to a friend's where I'm staying now. I took pictures of all the pages. I told him I just need some space to cool off after our conversation and I'll be home soon. I booked with my therapist and contacted a lawyer. We had a rough patch recently that lasted about 2 weeks. It was a dark time, but we pulled through. There was no violence, no moments where I was afraid of him, just sincere conversations about difficult feelings. The notes of hatred correspond with that rough patch. The rest of the journal is tame and reflects the man I know and love. Mostly little self-pep talks around work and family stuff, goals, habit tracking. He has sent me several warm messages since I left. He says he's glad I'm taking space for myself, that he looks forward to reconnecting when I come home. It's okay to have little hiccups and that he loves me, etc. I was sure our relationship was over the moment that I read he hates me, or even the moment I felt the need to violate his privacy. But the warm messages and the rest of the journal have me wavering a little. I understand the need to blow off steam when things are tense, and journaling is a healthy way to do that. But never in even our darkest moments have I fantasized about his death. Splitting up, maybe, but this feels so sinister. I don't know how I could ever feel safe around him again. Is this just healthy venting, and am I overreacting here? Has anyone else had similar thoughts about a spouse that they then got over? Or is this a man I need to protect myself and my baby from? Edit to add context. The rough patch was about his feelings for another woman. He didn't cheat, but his friendship with her makes me uncomfortable. The part of the journal where he says he hates me was written as a love letter to her. He says he thinks about me dying and being replaced. Girl, why didn't you say that in the first place? Not the edit to add context. The context was needed, girl. What do you mean? Like, I mean, in the first place, I was already saying that's really fucked up to even be writing about your spouse. Like, I personally would never, ever, ever, ever be like, I wish that he died. If you ever have, like, that thought cross your mind, unless it's, like, an intrusive thought, which I have many of those, and I know which ones are intrusive and which ones are, like, true. But if you're truly thinking, like, you want your spouse to die, that's definitely, yeah, you probably don't want to be with the person that wants you to die. Even if they just thought that for one day and then the next day they didn't think that anymore. Because, like, that just shows a lot. I would never, ever, even in me and my boyfriend's worst arguments ever, or, like, worst times ever, like, never did I, or even, like, when he broke up with me out of nowhere. did I wish that he would die. Like, never in the world would I ever wish that he would die. But then to just add so casually, yeah, he wrote it in a love letter to her. He says that he thinks about me dying and being replaced. That's just a whole nother level. And that is just like not even a question at this point. Yeah, girl, run. Yeah, run, girl. What the hell? He's he's fantasizing about you becoming a widow. Like, what I'm okay, this is like assuming pretty much because he obviously, I don't know what the fucking journal said, but for me, this gives like, I want my spouse to die so that I can be a widow, people feel bad for me, and then I'll replace her eventually and have someone new and fresh for me. You know? Like, that's what it's giving. That's actually insane. And it's actually crazy that she didn't say that in the first place. Like, please start with that. Start with that, ma'am. Because the context added was definitely needed from the first. Oh my gosh. I'm so scared. All right. We're going to read. There's one update, and it's a day later, which I don't love because we need to know, like, we need to know the outcome of this, and we need an update. Like, an update, I would love if she updated right now, you know, because this was 10 months ago, and like, I need to know what the fuck is happening with this person because it sounds like a true crime waiting to happen, and I don't want to wish that upon her, but I'm just saying that's a little bit scary. Can you guys not like bite each other and stuff? It's giving me like, I feel like, am I interrupting something here? Okay, anyways, update. I read my husband's journal and in it he says that he hates me and hopes I die. Update. 1 day later. I hope I'm doing this right. Thank you so much for all the advice and words of encouragement. Some of it was tough to read, but still deeply appreciated. I wanted to do an update because a lot of people were concerned for my safety. I took a commenter's advice and sent the pictures to a trusted friend. She pointed out that a passage I initially read as every day I think about telling her actually very clearly says killing her. I guess my brain couldn't comprehend that at first. I received a ton of helpful perspective and support, but that comment in particular might have saved my life. After I digested that, I called a crisis line, and they were quite helpful in talking me through the shock. They also put me in touch with a center that helps that's helping me get more affordable legal help. I it bought wait, sorry. I bought some more time for my husband. I told him I'm enjoying getting out of town and I'd like to stay an extra night or two. I have therapy tomorrow and an appointment with a social worker to make a safety plan. I feel like I have a good crew of family, friends, and professionals supporting me. Absolutely zero regrets now about reading his journal. My gut told me something was off, but I couldn't have imagined a worst case scenario as bad as this. I'm so glad the inner alarm bells were louder than my conscience this time. Nothing about this marriage is worth risking my life to salvage. Dude, it gets worse. Like, actually edited to add, like, what? She's just casually saying these things. Like, I mean, I know obviously she thinks it's a bad, it's bad. But, like, reading it just so casually just makes me be like, girl, run for your life. Um, Not that every day I think about killing her. Every day I think about killing her. What the fuck? See, typically I'd be like, don't love that you've read his journal because I leave my journal out and about, and let me tell you, those pages have some of the most dark thoughts that I've ever thought in my life. Like, I have like a few journals and a few that are like fully filled out from just like years of journaling. And I typically only journal when I'm going through a rough patch, which I have talked to my therapist about this in the past when I was going to therapy heavily. And she's like, you should start writing in your journal when you're having good times so that when you look back, you don't just see all the shitty times. And like, you should try to write and like, be thankful for when you're going through good times and happy times. But like for some reason I just don't want to, you know? Like I don't want to write down like my happy stuff like when I'm going through happy stuff. I want to like do something fun, you know? I don't want to be writing about how happy of a time I'm having, which sometimes occasionally like I'll journal a little. Like usually I'll manifest, but typically not journaling about my happy times. But dude, if my boyfriend read my journal, I would be so pissed and so upset. I mean, nothing in it is like incriminating me saying that I think about killing people or anything, but it's definitely like I think about doing that to myself. Sorry, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. But no, I'm just kidding. I don't feel like that anymore. But there were times where I felt like that, and like I would write that, like, why am I even alive? I don't even want to be alive. Like, why do I think about just getting hit by a car? I'm sorry, that's not funny, but it's my life, so it's fine. But I literally write the most intense feelings, especially before medication and before therapy. Oh, yeah, it's scary. Definitely. So I'd be pretty pissed, but like he wouldn't be like finding that kind of shit out. He'd be finding like that I am that I hate myself and why am I even alive? That's the kind of like at least it's about me and not about someone else. Like I hate you and I want you to die. That's just like terrifying to me. If I read someone's journal it said that, but I mean in this case, thank God you read it, like trusting your gut, and thank God for that, because otherwise I don't even know where she would be at this point. Like where the hell what would she do? Would she I genuinely think that like he probably at some point, if he literally thinks about killing her every day, he'd probably end up doing that. And also, they've only been together for 4 years. So like truly 4 years isn't that long. It's definitely in the context or like comparative, it's not that long. Especially at like 33 and 37. Some people have already been together for 10 years at that point, or like 12 years at that point. So I don't know. You definitely don't know him yet. That's for sure. That's like the scary part is when you think about it. It's like, do you truly even know your partner? There's so many things that you learn throughout different stages of your relationship. And like, obviously, your newly relationships are so different than like fully in a relationship for years and living together and stuff, and like every stage just gets different and you learn more and more and more and more about each other. And then obviously there are things that you'll probably die not knowing about your partner. Like that's just the case for that's just life. But hopefully it's not that he thinks about killing you every day, because that's really sad and scary. And you definitely deserve better than that. And the fact that she has a kid with him is also really sad and really scary. But let's read some comments on here. These are the posts where I'm just waiting for an update. Yeah, seriously. Someone said, I just hope she's alive to make one. Well, thank God she's so, like, aware and knows that the best thing to do is leave. And thank God she has the resources to do so, because that's, like, really the biggest thing is typically when it's hard to leave a relationship like this, it's that you don't really have a way out, you know? Like, a lot of people don't have a way out, and that's so much more sad to think about. The fact that some people just have to stay in a relationship, or which obviously, like, there are ways, but it's like not everyone wants to completely uproot their life with no one else being able to support them. Like, thank God she has a mom to lean on, and then thank God, like, she has all of these resources to go to get legal help that's affordable. And some people can't even pay for a cheap lawyer, or I don't know. Okay. The part of the journal where he says he hates me was written as a love letter to her. He says he thinks about me dying and being replaced. He most definitely is planning on harming her in some way. I'm glad she showed the pictures to someone she trusts and is no longer going to be around it. The gift of fear. OP's intuition noticed something important and sent up the alarm. I feel like there's no way like he didn't show signs of this psychotic behavior, right? For 4 years, I don't know. Can you pretend to be someone else for that long? Because like it makes sense for like a year, which is a stretch to me, but I know that some people can. But, like, can you possibly mask who you are as a person for that long? There had to have been little signs, I feel like, but maybe not. I've never dealt with someone this crazy. Okay, someone said, oh, hell to the no. Hope OOP does keep herself out of the news because her husband sounds like a mass or serial killer in the making. I hope OP stays strong. Never in my marriage have I ever thought, oh, gee, I sure hate my partner and want them to die, let alone would have written it down. My spouse is my life. They love to watch Bridgerton, and I liked how the mom said her husband was like the air she breathed. Wait, what? Love isn't always roses and sunshine, but the last thing on my mind is ever hurting my partner or hoping they would die. That's horrible. Exactly. Like, unless you literally are being abused by your spouse or something, like, yeah, then you probably wish they would die. But typically, when you're with, like, someone that you love and you want to spend the rest of your lives together, you're not hoping that they're going to die and then be replaced. And not only that, but thinking about killing them. The fact that he wrote that down is crazy. Like, not the proof, sir. Like, come on. And I'm really sorry for the next girl that he apparently had feelings for and wrote this love letter to, because who's to say that she's not going to have a relationship with him after this and then he's going to want to end up killing her? Like, it sounds like he has some issues up there that he needs to be locked up for. Like, be in some serious psychiatric hospital. Ugh, I have never wanted to follow someone for an update before, but I'm afraid for this OP and will be anxiously awaiting another update because more updates means she's alive and safe. Yeah, well, it's been 10 months and she hasn't updated, and that's annoying. No, don't say that. Oh my god, that's not annoying. It's just stressful because exactly what this girl said. I hope she's okay. Like, are you okay? Hopefully she's just like being just like I said earlier, how I don't write in my journal when I'm happy. Hopefully she's just like happy and she's not thinking about writing something on Reddit, because usually you're not like wanting to vent when you're happy. And that's a good thing. But I really hope it's not the other option. I really want to find out how court is going to handle custody. Writing down homicidal thoughts towards the mom doesn't really make him a danger to their child, so a family court judge could maybe still give him supervised visitation. I really have no clue. He hasn't actually harmed the mother in any way, so he could always claim that his journal entries were just venting. Yeah, I guess, but I never vent in that manner, so I can't even imagine. Oh man, one thing they say to get full use out of journaling is to not edit your thoughts and truly write everything as you feel, which can include nasty and not nice thoughts. But never in a million years should you be thinking about killing your partner, let alone writing it down. What the actual hell? I think the worst thing I've written about my husband in a diary is fucking goddamn fucker pisses me off so much. I'm not even gonna hold in my farts tonight. Sit there and bake. No, I'm dead. That's so funny. The old nobody is dumb enough to write out their kill my spouse plan in their journal defense, setting up the reasonable person defense, should have mailed it to himself to get the postmark. The fact that he would rather kill her than get a divorce shows just how dangerous this situation is for her. I hope she really starts to react appropriately and protect herself. Home alarm system and emergency bottom to call the police to your location. I don't know, there's probably more. Yeah, everyone's like, I've been so annoyed with my spouse, but I've never thought about killing them. Exactly. Because not like no normal person would be thinking about killing someone. That would be crazy. But I really hope they're like, I mean, it's 10 months ago, but there still could be an update at some point, you know? There could. 9 months ago, she was commenting like back to people. This is what's most shocking to me. He was always such an attentive father, but he's not fighting for her at all. But I don't know. There hasn't been anything since. I'm like, do I follow this person? Hi, please. Can you please give me an update? I need to know if you're alive and you're okay. But anyways, that's the story and that's the update. That's all that we have for today. Actually, I'm going to say something. And that is that I talked about this in another video or episode, and about how someone commented saying that I was like being so what did she say? She was saying something about being sexist or something, and how it was really weird and how she felt like she was in 2003 and she was out, blah, 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 saying that bye. Like she wasn't going to watch the videos because there's too much sexism in the first 10 minutes. And then someone else commented and said, yeah, a lot of double standards. And so confused because I just don't understand why it's always like, why do women always get the brunt of stuff? Like, no one ever sticks up for us when men are like, yeah, if she slept with more than one person, she's a hoe, but my body counts 777. Okay. Yep. Not a double standard at all. I need a pure girl. If she's not a virgin, I'm not dating her. Sorry. And I don't mean to be like blatantly, I hate men. I don't hate all men, but I do hate a lot of men. I'm sorry. But I feel like women have the right to be hardened to men in general. No? The violence that men inflict on women every single day, and the way that I have to, or not just me, but all women have to walk out of their house even 9 a.m., go on a run and be scared for your life. The fact that that's a thing is insane. The fact that I like worry about getting out of my car at the gas station when men are around because they will come up to you and get too close for comfort. And the fact that I always carry self-defense on me at all times and am constantly thinking about my surroundings when I'm by myself and know that men are around lurking somewhere is really scary. Like, sorry that I have double standards sometimes. I feel like women have the right to have double standards sometimes. I'm not sorry because I've had to deal with so many scary men in my lifetime, and I know that every woman in my life has had scary encounters with men. Like peace and love, but I will stay feeling this way until it's fixed, which most likely probably will never happen. But I love you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Storytime Society. And I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. I love you. Bye.